Not only is Mac Jones the real deal, the dynasty is back on track. And when he looks up at the mirror, he says, there he is, the baby goat.
It is obvious that Mac Jones should be the starting quarterback of the Patriots. Get Mac Jones, develop Mac Jones, da-da-da-da-da.
Yeah, see, that it reminds me right now, if I can get a close-up on your hair, because one side is perfectly coiffed and the other side is like Jimmy Nikowski. It's all over the place.
He needs an absolute reset, but I still believe in him.
Oh, my gosh.
Mac Jones, I'm not leaving. I am not I'm Wolf of Wall Street style right here with you, buddy. I'm not going anywhere, Mac Jones. You and me.
He's got to be the dirtiest player in the league. Okay. He's also whines and yells at people. I don't know how you root for this guy.
Well, I love him. That's why I root for him. It would be foolish for us to trade him because his lack of development is on the coaching staff, not him. That's my take. That's supposed to embarrass me because I did the exact opposite. It got me more fired up. Oh, my goodness. The show that is going to get to Mac Jones in a second. We've got breaking news coming from all over the place. The most important story is Mac Jones, but there's other stuff that's more recent. It's first things first. Today, okay, breaking news, Kirk Cousins headed to Atlanta, 4 years, $180 million, $100 million guaranteed. Let's take a look at his Vikings tenure. Overall, started a little slow. The last few years have been hot. Some teams, some people, excuse me. Yeah, he's 13-4. And then last year was just the drops, but they were hot.
They were
before he hurt his Achilles.
Yeah, aren't you a quarterback wins guy, Wilds?
Well,
That doesn't look great.
17-8.
Okay.
17-8 in the last 2 years.
All right, go ahead. Go ahead.
Doesn't look great.
Some people had him going to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, one great year there.
Meanwhile, since Matt Ryan left, the Falcons have had the fifth worst passing offense. So, Nick, your reaction?
I get it. And if you're Raheem Morris, you have another chance, and you have familiarity with Kirk Cousins' time in Washington. One of the reasons your first time as a head coach didn't go right is didn't have the quarterback. Yep. He's like, you know what? I'm locking in stability. You're also locking in a ceiling, and you're not doing it incredibly cost effectively. The 4 for 180. Listen, $100 million guaranteed. He's going to get $90 million over the first couple of years. It's $45 million a year, which is below the top of the quarterback market, which is good because Kirk Cousins is below the top of the quarterback play.
Yeah.
But if with the luxury of my job not being on the line, I would have liked the higher upside, more lottery ticket, not locked into aspects of Justin Fields. If it doesn't work, you're drafting a quarterback next year, and if it does work, you have a younger player or a cheaper player with a higher upside. I understand why for the Falcons, when they say we spent a top 10 pick on a running back, a top 10 pick on a wide receiver, a top 10 pick on a tight end, that we have all this built ready to go offense, we need a quarterback that's not going to drag us down the way their quarterbacks have post Matt Ryan. So I understand it. He's one of the two best quarterbacks in the division. We'll see if he's better than Baker at 36 coming off an Achilles. I think there's a real question there.
Yeah, you think?
Yeah. And
so no one's talking about
he never was a mobile guy anyway.
Yeah, but I don't know that that's – I agree with you. That's a good point, but that doesn't mean that there's not going to be any ill effects from the Achilles. So I understand it. I think it's a needle mover in that you now expect the Falcons to be in the playoff picture – not just because they're in the NFC South, but like a 10-11 win
They
team.
better be.
Yes,
they better be more than in the picture.
Okay, go ahead.
They better be front and center in the playoffs. They have to make the playoffs now. And a week ago, I felt like you did. Go for Justin Fields. You don't have to pay him much money. He's young. He matches the age of the receivers and the running back that you have. So, see what he can do. But when you look at the fact that their offensive coordinator, Zach Robinson, is from the Rams with Raheem, but Sean McVay's system. And the talk was that they didn't feel, which I get, that Justin Fields necessarily fits that system. Yeah. They want a guy that can fling it. I mean, this is not Matt Stafford to the Rams because they're not about to win the Super Bowl, but they want a quarterback who's proven to be able to throw the football and throw it well. And so I get that. And Raheem, I think, is going to do a good job with that defense. That's what he does.
Sure.
And I think offensively, we know the McVay system is good. Cousins should fit into it. We know he can put up numbers in the regular season. They got a great offensive line. You know I'm big on the Pro Football Focus. They're the fourth-ranked offensive line in the league.
That's right.
So they got a good offensive line, receivers, running backs, Bijan. And look, Bijan, most running backs are at their best Early.
100%.
So you know, let's just go for it now. The question, of course, is what will Cousins do in the playoffs and in the big games? But you got to get to the big games before you can find out again. So I got to be honest, I like this. I think they can win the division, and then you take your chances in the playoffs.
I mean, they were alive for the division last year
Right.
with terrible
So they
quarterbacks.
should be able to win it.
I still like the bake show in the division. What do you do with, what should the Vikings do now? I'm Justin Jefferson. I'm the best wide receiver in the
I mean,
whole
they're pretty
league.
clearly going to draft somebody. They're at 11, and so they will either move up or they will take. If I don't at this point, it doesn't seem like McCarthy's going to fall, but Bo Nix will be there. Michael Penix, who seems to have very drastic draft evaluations of what people think of Penix. By the way, so does Jaden Daniels. Some people think that if your Patriots take JJ, that Jaden could fall
We're not
substantially.
taking
Jaden falls.
We're not taking JJ.
And so, but I think the Vikings are in. You know, they might be last house on the left for Justin Fields.
Well, to me, that's a huge question. What's next for Justin Fields?
Yeah.
I mean, the Patriots, the Vikings.
Patriots, Vikings,
I guess
Raiders.
the Raiders got to do something.
But
whoever can't move up, I guess, between the Vikings
I don't think it's the
and
Patriots.
the Raiders.
We're starting fresh.
But this
No,
is,
I agree. I
We're
don't
not
think
good
they'll.
in the
But
same
I'm
guy
just
from the
saying
same
where
draft
there's
class.
it's the list of where he can go is shrinking.
correct. No, the idea that the Cowboys, the Bears are going to get a significant pick for him, that's gone. Now, I mean, they won't have to take the humiliation of like 3 years after drafting a guy in the first round, trading him for a sixth. But
You don't know that. First of all, you do not know that.
That's a nice
You do not
segue.
know that.
Okay, I think I do.
What's he going for?
What? Better than that. But let's talk
Let's
about.
see. Let's see where he goes.
Yeah, let's see.
I don't get
Let's
me
see.
wrong. I know
I don't-
Justin Fields has won 20 games.
Okay.
One of those against the Patriots. Fair.
Yeah.
Fine. We'll get to this. Brew, the question here.
Where was he traded to?
Yeah, let's get to it. Why do you think? Why do you think he's traded to Jacksonville?
Everyone needs a backup quarterback. But
You
go
think
ahead.
so? Do they have a backup
let's-
quarterback?
Maybe not, but go ahead. Let's.
I think they did.
You're jumping
C.J.
the gun here.
Beathard,
Yeah, go
who
ahead.
couldn't do it in
Brew,
San
should I give
Francisco.
up
San
on
Fran.
Mac Jones? The answer is no, but I want to hear your take on it.
Wilds. You've always gone way overboard on
You think?
Mac.
I mean, just
baby
for the
goat,
record,
all that
he
stuff.
made the Pro Bowl,
way
and
overboard.
we went to the playoffs,
All
just
right.
like C.J. Stroud did.
That said, I'm tickled by your unconditional love for Mac Jones.
Thank you.
And so instead of sitting here ripping you,
I'll do that.
I'm going to give you some encouragement.
Oh, that's
all
sweet.
right. Look, Mac Jones. You can say what you want, Nick, about Mac Jones isn't this, Mac Jones isn't that, and like I said, Wilds overrated him. But to say the Patriots mishandled him and ruined whatever chance he had of being a good quarterback, at least in his first 3 years, is an understatement.
First, like more last two, because he was excellent.
Excellence is a little much, but he was good as rookie year.
Yeah.
Last 2 years, they brought in these offensive coordinators who really weren't offensive coordinators that you mentioned, and then Bill
Who's their
O'Brien, you get one.
Yeah, Bill
He's
O'Brien.
fine, but I think by that time, Mac's confidence was gone. Now, if you want to rip him, say he's not mentally tough enough, we'll see.
That might
but
be
my
fair.
point is that it was toxic for him in New England. I think this is exactly what the doctor ordered. Go to Jacksonville.
Yeah.
Doug Peterson is good with quarterbacks.
Yeah.
There's no pressure on you at all. You're not going to play unless Trevor gets hurt.
Great
so
with
you
backups.
get a year to get your confidence back, to work in a good system, to work with Trevor. They're same age, essentially.
Yeah.
Work with Trevor. And then, look, Marcus Mariota, Sam Darnold, Mitch Trubisky, all these guys got second chances. So I think
But
Mac
they failed in
that's fine, but they got the chance. Baker got a second and
That's
third
correct.
chance.
Okay.
So you sit behind Trevor for a year, you learn, you get your confidence back, you get your swagger back,
Yeah.
and then somebody will take a chance on you. So that's the encouragement.
Sure, it feels good to me. This is a good plan. I'm surprised you're so confident.
In what?
Let me just read you how I think it was strange that Jacksonville went and got him. Why would Jacksonville go and they have Trevor Lawrence and they have a backup? So either get an old veteran
That's interesting.
to back him up to sort of help him, because isn't the backup quarterback supposed to support the starting quarterback in general, bro?
Yes.
Especially if you're a young quarterback, get a veteran. Mac Jones has nothing to teach him, and here's how Trevor has gone. We know that he plays poorly the full first year. We don't talk about it. Then he played poorly his beginning of his sophomore year. Then he played great. Then he went to the playoff game again. Tail at the halves, played horrible in the first half, great in the second half, excellent. This year, played great in the first half, and then, wow, loss. Win against Tennessee, win against Houston, loss, lost, loss, loss to Tampa Bay, lost to Tennessee. That's it. So he's
saying
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He ended the year with 5 straight losses. And don't get me wrong, Mac Jones ended the year with 1, 2, 3, 4 straight losses, but he was benched. Don't get me wrong. So I'm just saying the idea that there's this gulf between Trevor Lawrence and Mac Jones, I think is I don't think people have looked at the numbers. Here's the full screen. I know you're a numbers guy. Look at their I mean. He's not backing up Patrick Mahomes. No, okay. He's not backing up Joe Burrow.
Wild.
He's backing up a guy who the numbers look very similar. Okay. I didn't even do a blind resume.
Okay, so let me listen.
I mean, Brew,
I can't believe I cannot. I was going to be nice, but now I
didn't sign him to Jacksonville.
Hold on. You did, Brew. Can I steal a line from you?
Oh, sure.
That was cute. But it wasn't really. It was more embarrassing, but like with a little kid when you're like, oh, you're so cute, and you're like, a little cringeworthy.
Wilds. Point you made.
Wilds.
Thank you, bro.
Will your opinion on this change at all when Trevor, whether we think it's a smart idea or not, when this team signs him to $230 million here in the next few months?
I hope they do.
Well, and so
that would change.
Of course
it would.
Because here's what we know. We know that. And I'm going to need a minute here, but because we have a lot to do, because this is the ultimate classic 3 by you.
I'm not
Everything
ready to say
Mac Jones related.
I'm not ready to say that.
And the ultimate classic 2 by me, which is it all. You guys say, oh, it was Joe Judge, it was Matt Patricia, it was Bill Belichick. We know when the downfall started. There is a line of demarcation in Mac Jones's career. Brew, you're a numbers guy. Do you like
a game that they won?
The win game.
They won the game.
Hobbs, can we show the win game? Up until Bill Belichick publicly humiliated him, things were going swimmingly for him. Since then, Wilds, those numbers are jarring. And I know you love to hold on to the rookie season. But now the data is in, and so I would like to show you a few more full screens. We can roll through them. What do these 4 quarterbacks have in common? If we can show it to you, what do you think those 4 quarterbacks have in common, Brew? Do you know? Let's go ahead and reveal it.
They're all on the bench.
Yeah, they all somehow made a Pro Bowl recently. So that Pro Bowl berth you're holding on to doesn't mean that much. What is Mac Jones' value? Let's show the next 5 guys if we could.
Well.
Are we familiar with any of those guys, other than, by the way, John Runyon Jr. just signed a nice deal to play guard. John Runyon Jr., you know his father. That's his son. Your guy's punter. What do they all have in common? They were drafted with the 192nd pick. That's what the NFL said Mac Jones' value was now, which now means in a quarterback class of 3 years ago, Brew, the NFL says Trey Lance is more valuable.
Come on.
What? Hold on. Wild.
First of all, I do not.
Wild.
2 names for you.
Well,
throw it at him.
What?
Tom Brady and Brock.
Okay, that's fine.
192.
I'm just telling you what the NFL. And this isn't Nick talking. The NFL said Trey Lance is worth a 4, and Mac Jones is worth a 6.
No,
that's what the NFL's telling us.
You do not believe that.
What?
Trey Lance cannot get on the field.
You
know that Trey Lance. Well, there was a 4 from Jerry Jones, and that's it. But this is not about Trey Lance versus Mac Jones.
No, but it's also
one guy made the Pro Bowl. One guy can't get on the
Wilds,
field.
Brew, again, if I can steal another line, I'm not a feelings guy. I'm a facts guy.
So why did Jacksonville sign him?
Because
why did they sign him? Why did Trevor Lawrence? Has Trevor Lawrence signed his deal yet or no?
No.
Why don't they give
Is
Trevor?
there any concern?
Thank you, bro.
You guys are out of your mind.
I'm not saying. I'm just saying he makes an interesting.
He doesn't make any interesting points.
Why would they go get Mac Jones?
This is drop the first banner because they need a backup. The baby goat era ended with a whimper, and Wilds tried to do a little sleight of hand about whether or not this is about Trevor. But since you're making it about Trevor, I'd love to bring Trevor into it because Trevor now finally, drop the next banner, please, has a royal squire to carry around his belongings.
I hate to say it.
And since we're talking Trevor, can we bring the gentleman in? Because it's been a while.
Oh, wow.
But we get to hear
I thought we were done with them.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, since you made it about Trevor, let's make it about Trevor. Because Mac Jones is now his cupbearer. Gentlemen, great to see you as always.
Good to see these guys again.
Honestly, fellas, I do appreciate that you make time for coming on the show.
Yeah.
The fact that Trevor Lawrence lost 5 games to close out their season when they were in I think they were in first place.
He
for a
got
while.
injured twice, but this is not about Trevor Lawrence.
It is about Trevor Lawrence.
Are they looking at Trevor and saying,
okay,
let's go get it done? They just went out and got Gabe Davis. You got some receivers.
Yes.
Had receivers
and they are going.
too.
So
Let's see
listen,
what they do.
I just want both of you. I can't believe
if Zach Wilson.
No, I'm just saying.
If
hold on.
Zach Wilson, hold on, let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Suppose the Patriots kept Mac Jones and they signed Zach Wilson as his backup. The first thing you would say is, you know what? They picked a guy from his draft class. They don't totally believe in him.
Yes, but
there's a chance
that is not,
outside of injury that if this guy, I don't know, throws 4 interceptions and a half or loses 5 straight games to boot us out of the playoffs, maybe we look in another direction before we make a $200 million investment.
And so what I am saying is, and this is what I want both of you on the record on, because I can't believe you let Wilds trick you here.
No, I mean, I'm just saying it makes sense.
Okay, so you're saying
why
it makes
not
sense.
bring in an old vet who's no competition?
So let me ask the question. So what will both of you say about this disaster of a segment we've just done when Trevor Lawrence signs his contract before the next game is played?
If they do that, then clearly Wilds' theory is wrong.
But that's you're
all I'm saying is it makes some sense.
And what will you say?
Oh, well, I don't know. I haven't seen many horrible contracts in the last, I don't know.
No, that's not
18
hold
months.
On, but that's wait a minute.
It'll mean they believe fully in
Well, the Broncos totally believed in Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
The Browns totally believed in Deshaun Watson. And Jacksonville totally believes in Trevor Lawrence.
But you are now. So what are you? I'm just curious. What are you arguing?
I think that the Jacksonville Jaguars are like,
So that will be.
That's all I say. Like.
So that will be proven dead wrong if they give him the contract before the season starts, correct?
Maybe not.
Okay.
There's not an inkling within your
not
psyche
at all. Just you guys sound like Trey Lance with Dak Prescott. That's what you guys sound like.
No. Because Trevor hasn't been as good as Dak Prescott, and Mac Jones has been better than Trey Lance.
Okay.
I'll be honest with you.
Just
be honest. I kind of pulled that segment off.
No, you didn't. You somehow
you were all like,
You somehow managed.
I pulled it off. How much do you love this?
I mean, listen, I'm happy for all involved. Chris Jones last year wanted a 2-year extension that would be starting right now, for just under $32 million a year. The Chiefs didn't want to give it to him. He then helped win them the Super Bowl, and now he got a 3-year extension worth just under $32 million a year. Because I understand it. Listen, and we have it as $5.95 on the screen. That's a little misleading. It's $5 for $158 is what that should say. But he has $95 million guaranteed over 3 years. So it's essentially a 3-year, $95 million deal. So he got 1 more year than even he wanted because he helped him win the Super Bowl and bet on himself. Now, let me say this quickly, because Brew, I am the cap guy. They're going to pay him $95 million over the next 3 years. Only $7 million is showing up on this year's cap. So that bill will come due. It absolutely will come due. But they are chasing being the greatest team of all time. Right. That's what they're chasing. And when you're chasing that, you bring back the best defensive player in football, and that's what he is. The best defensive player in football.
Look, I agree with everything you said. I love the message this sends to the locker room. Because if you let him go, then obviously you're trying to win the Super Bowl and all that. But there's a little, did we go all in? We let our second best player go, right? Now you send a message to the players that we are all in. We are trying to become the first NFL team in history to win 3 straight championships. And they work. This just, to me, gives them an extra boost and jolt that wouldn't have been there had he gone.
I agree. It was a rough day for me. This made me happy.
Okay, can I add a little other context quickly?
Oh, yeah, sure.
All right, so he's only 29, and he's out of 151 possible games he could have played in his career, he's missed 9. 8 due to injury total. So he's durable, and he hasn't quite, hit that over 30 part of it. And all 3 Super Bowl runs. The first Super Bowl win, 3 pass breakups on the final 2 drives to win the Super Bowl against Jimmy G. The second Super Bowl run, AFC title game, Joe Burrow, oh my God, he's going to rip their heart out again. A sack to end the drive. And this Super Bowl run hits Josh Allen with Deion Dawkins, so Josh can't hit Shakir right before the Bass miss. And then we all know, got the free run at Purdy where Purdy just threw it away in overtime, which is why let's do what we're supposed to do, which is drop Chiefs banners. This kind of a
There we go.
Three-peat on deck.
That's pretty good.
I mean, it's going to be the greatest team of all time.
The fact that he tweeted that picture like last week.
Yeah, it's pretty good. And at the
negotiating.
parade, we didn't get to talk about it, but at the parade, he said drunkenly, I'm going to be back 1, 2, 3 more years.
Saquon headed to Philadelphia next on First Things First. And the Fox Sports Channel on SiriusXM. Check that out.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get more from the show and to check out clips from other shows on FS1.